Her current research interests are from students' development, their thinking skills through technology enhanced learning environments. She has conducted a number of teacher professional development AICT workshops on effective teaching. She has also been a resource person for various expert talks on best practices in teaching learning. She is the winner of Infosys Inspire Award as Distinguished Facilitator in Education. Top performer, SAP Excellent Award winner for 4-week AICT FDP on ICT in blended learning. So without wasting any time, I request Professor Ms. Deepali Ausekar to present a topic, learning styles and memory techniques. Thank you.
A very good afternoon.
Just change the slides for testing. Yes. You please start.
Okay, very good afternoon to all. Today, this afternoon, since morning, we all have been going across multiple theories of creativity and all the information. So I would first like to say that I'm an engineer by profession, but my interest into psychology over a period of 10 years, and I'm going to share you what I have learned through various programs. And also at the end of the session, if you feel curious, I will ask you on whom I have tested these experiments. And without talking about any theoretical aspects, like design thinking, as we are going to teach this subject in coming time, we will be coming across the theories. But what I have learned is through the transfer of knowledge that has happened through some workshops and interactions with like-minded people. So first I'll be starting with a very fun quiz, like in a minute we'll finish the quiz. Then I'll be talking about concentration, and directly I'll be sharing 3 scientific memory techniques. Okay, and these scientific memory techniques are from Indian culture. Like if we see about this creativity, design thinking, people have come to know about it in these times. So there are two ideologies that run parallel. One is the Western and the one is the Eastern. So there are a number of people who are working in the East and have come across different memory techniques or ways to study, whereas our Indian knowledge, the Vedas, right, from the Indus Valley civilization, and then the medieval, then the ancient. So things have got transferred. There was no book, there were no scriptures written. What we come to know about Dhamma was from the pillars and from the inscriptions. Okay, so how this knowledge transfer has happened and how everything is related to creativity. So in general, to talk about this topic, every slide that I have, itself is a big topic to be talked about, but I'll be narrowing it down to three basic scientific memory techniques, because since our childhood, okay, since our childhood, we have been told this, man laga ke padho, ध्यान लगा के पढ़ो. बट सबसे बेसिक क्वेश्चन, मन लगा के पढ़ो, ध्यान लगा के पढ़ो, पर पढ़ना कैसे है? What is the meaning of man laga ke padho, dhyan laga ke padho? Nobody answers this question. And I also had this question in my mind. Ki dhyan laga ke padho means what? Because everyone, okay, if I think, if I rewind my life and I have been practicing these techniques, okay, if somebody would have taught me these techniques when I was a child, I think I would have totally been in a different place. Okay, but nonetheless, these techniques I have implemented on some of the students, and I can tell you later, and it has happened to be and proven to be successful. So my quest for learning, like man laga ke padho, dhyan laga ke padho, study with concentration. Even we tell the students now, because in online we don't know whether they are listening to us, they are just log in. Man to hai hi nahi, dhyan to hai hi nahi, just it's gone, it's wavering. So what is that? First I'm going to talk, because all these obviously have a scientific base, but I'm going to talk directly about the essential things that we can take away home today, and we can pass it on to our children, or obviously the ones who are in this process of making a career. Because the system, the education system that we are in is oriented based on the marks that we get in the exam, and in order to get good marks, or in order to get placed, we need to reproduce or retrieve from the memory itself. We do not have any other means. With this COVID scenario, yes, some students have gone for unfair means and XYZ, but ultimately you have to retrieve the information from the brain, from the mind, and then excel in whatever it is. It may be exam, maybe your placement, maybe any competitive exam that you focus on. So I'll be talking about two things, okay? The learning skills and the study skills. The learning skills itself are a different topic to be talked about, and the study skills are very different. As we are having this subject in first year engineering, and we will be teaching them, so I find it important to tell the students actually how to study. So I'll be focusing on that. So before that, there's a small quiz, okay? So everyone, and this quiz is having a prize, obviously, and the prize will be told at the end of the session. So everybody has been given the notepad. So please have your notepad in front of you. And participation is essential. Everyone has to participate. So please open and write your name and college on that sheet. Because this will be collected by the end of the session. You will be given 60 seconds there will be a screen. I hope everyone has written that. There will be a screen, and on the screen, it's a memory game. As I'm going to talk about memory techniques and the learning methodologies, let's play a game and see. There's a screen and there are some words along with numbers. You'll be given 60 seconds, and what you have to do is you have to try to write as much as you can remember. Okay, so I'll just start the timer. So your time starts now. One thing, you don't have to, just stop, hold on. You don't have to look from there and write. You have to first read that and then you have to write. Not parallel writing is allowed. So keep your pens first, go through the slide and then you have to write it. So I saw some participants immediately taking it down. No. So just go through the slide and then start writing, not to hold the pen. Yes, sir. Numbers are also important. Numbers are also important. Yes, that is only memory testing, sir. So you try anything, sir. That is fine. We'll consider. Try to recall. Okay, so do not write it immediately. Do not everyone keep your pens. Okay. Start. Please do not write. "30 seconds remaining. Stop. You all can write. Again, you have 1 minute to write. After you finish writing, sir will collect the pages. It would be better and more appreciable if you write along with numbers, the names. And if anybody can recall the total number of words, that also would be the best thing. Like the biggest prize will go to the person who will tell at least how many numbers were there. Don't go with the number count, the total number, the total words, if anybody could recall. You have to write it. Okay, time up. Please submit your pages to. Okay, so just roughly, can anybody tell how many they could write? 8, 7, okay. 9. Who was 9? 10. Konapur sir, how much? 9. Okay. So in case of tie, we'll check out the numbers. Yes.
Question and answer.
Yes, sir.
At least we have to go for 2 seconds at least.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
No, I really did not check it.
We'll, we'll discuss, sir.
We are unable to read that name.
Shall, if time permits, we'll take one more round. Okay? On
Because I will create a story for those words.
yes. That is also
Unable to create the story.
okay. So if time permits, we'll have one more round on Mankani sir's request. Okay. So moving ahead, please pass it on. So the moral of the story is ultimately why we are learning this, because our students, or when we were growing up, somewhere or the other we had to reproduce what we have learned. And even today, like if we are giving NPTEL exams, anything, we have to recall that, right? And the most important thing that students have and feel is that not only students, it may be that even we feel like no, it's we cannot do. If anything new is given to us, we have an emotional barrier. We have thinking that maybe I'm not able to do it, or I'll not be able to do it. Some people directly say, some students say, हमारी याददाश्त कमजोर है, मेरी memory problem है. So this is, but actually it is not. That is the most important thing. When we are born as human beings, all are given the same amount of memory. So हमारी याददाश्त कमजोर है, जब हम पढ़ते हैं हम भूल जाते हैं, हमको याद नहीं रहता. This is the most important thing, right? And in today's session, my focus would be on tackling this problem without talking about the theoretical aspect or scientific aspect about it. Directly what has to be done, how it has to be done, and you may get the results if done in a proper way. And you can try it on your children, your friends, anyone who is in the process of learning. So how to overcome this? Okay, so in order to answer this question, like I have low memory, we have poor concentration, there are multiple reasons, not only one. So maybe your learning style, your multiple intelligence, poor concentration, then understanding capacity. Now when I say understanding capacity is also the on the other end the teaching capacity. A student will understand when only it is being taught. So it's a two-way thing. It's not only a one-sided problem. Understand नहीं हो रहा है क्योंकि समझा ही नहीं है, समझा नहीं है क्योंकि समझाया ही नहीं है. तो n number of problems. Okay, apart from that, these are the problems that are external. We do not have control. We can't go and teach how to teach that person so that our kid will learn, our children will learn. What we can do at our end, I am going to try to focus on. Okay, because this learning style, this multiple intelligence, understanding capacity, all at the end is tested when you try to reproduce it. And where do we reproduce it? Obviously in an exam interview, we try to recall it. And the last point, if you see, that is mentioned over here, actually it should have been highlighted, it's forgetting. That is the root cause of everything. Okay, which reflects, and therefore now you say meri yaaddash kamzor hai, I don't have a good memory power. So forgetting ko tackle kaise karte hain? Because it all is related to the brain and the working of the brain. So now moving ahead, I'll just talk, like while answering this question and tackling forgetting and how to recall that. First, I'll very shortly talk about learning styles, because whenever we are learning, there are different major three types of learning styles. Okay, we all are aware with it. That is the visual learner, the auditory learner, the kinesthetic learner. So what does this mean? It means that when I see something, I can understand. When I listen to something, I can remember, I can understand. And some cases, when I do it practically or when I touch it, okay, that is using tools, performing actions, I can understand. So broadly, the learning styles, like any individual, any student, our children or kids, they have a learning style. As a parent, as an educator, as a teacher, it is our, if like we really want them to grow in their career, we need to identify what is the learning style. I'll give you an example of this. There was a case study that was done in Africa. The child, the small kid of 2 years, okay, 2 to 3 years, was mixed. One was African, one was Chinese. Okay, the African never knew that he is, obviously we don't come to know about the race, right? And the experiment was made to to see that whether mingling among different kinds of kids, will that African person know Chinese? And it was successful. The same way we have learned our mother tongues. We have not been admitted to any school, but still at the age of 1 year, we are able to say I. Nobody taught us. How is that so? We are listening to it. That is auditory, spoken words. We are able to speak in a language without knowing OREE. We are able to talk in English if it is an English family, it's a Gujarati family, it's a Marwadi family, Kannada. The child is able to speak in that. Why? Because at that particular point of time, the brain, the left part of the brain and the right part of the brain are in a developing stage, and these auditory skills are being enhanced. And therefore, without even you teaching, by listening, and forget about that, if you send him to a particular school, he or a friend is able to learn that also, good and bad both. Because by listening, he is trying to grow. Because at that particular point of time, the complete brain development is not happened. So the first important thing, and today, like auditory is very less because hardly there is any communication in the families these days. So most is what is visual, and visual with the phone that is there in the hand, like Doraemon and all. So he is having an impact of that. Okay, so first important thing is identify the learning style. If it is auditory, is it visual, or is it better when performing something? After that, this is the multiple intelligence theory. Like it is given, proposed by Gardner. So initially there were 6 now, but as and when there are people have contributed, you can see 8 broad divisions of it. And why I'm taking this, because again, today we are into this profession of teaching and learning because, and we talk. We are good at, we engineers have said that you're good in maths. We can't, if we tell Lata Mangeshkar or Arya Ambekar to perform something in maths, she may not be able to do it. Or if we tell Sachin Tendulkar, solve this integration derivatives, he may not be able to do it. Because his intelligence is kinesthetic intelligence. And every individual has, any one of this is having this intelligence. And it depends what is developed over a period of time. Like the people who are into sports, like I'll just give you an overview of this intelligence. Most of you all must be knowing it also. Verbal, the speakers, the politicians, the orators, they fall into the category of linguistic intelligence. Musical intelligence are the singers, composers. You know that Ajay Atul pair. Without any official training, they have created masterpieces of their time. So it's that you have it in yourself. You need to get exposed to the appropriate platform. Further is intrapersonal intelligence. Now these days, with the familiarity of YouTube, you see every now and then you come across different gurus and giving a lot of philosophy, like maybe Sadhguru, maybe Osho, maybe Gopal Das, okay, and Brahmakumari Shivani. So what is this? They fall into the intrapersonal intelligence. They are very high on intrapersonal intelligence. Naturalistic intelligence, it deals with understanding the nature, seeing patterns. The ones who love the tribal people, who give us this medicinal properties, or they tell us this is the importance of these herbs, which is not actually taught in any college of Ayurveda. Okay, so this is coming to know to people through the environment. Then you have visual intelligence, you have spatial intelligence. The people who are into architecture, who are able to design, the designers, the fashion designers, the interior decorators, they have good, like how something will look good. They're able. So it is up to us to identify, or at least tell the students, ki, Baba, this much intelligence is there, because when we come into this engineering background, the other hobbies, other likings are left out. And we really don't know what that person really likes about. So it is very essential as a parent, as an educator, as a facilitator, to at least make that student aware, try to identify your intelligence and try to identify your learning style, because this is the foundation. If we make a student sit and read it, and he is good with listening and understanding, you see in the PLs, एक स्टूडेंट होता है वो 4 स्टूडेंट्स को समझाता है व्हाट इज बीइंग टॉट, व्हाट इज दैट, दैट इज देयर वर्बल इंटेलिजेंस, बिकॉज उसको हम सिखाते तब समझ में नहीं आता है, उसको जब उसका फ्रेंड समझाएगा, उसके लैंग्वेज में समझाएगा, तो उसको समझ में आ जाएगा और फिर उसका पेपर निकलेगा. This is passed on, and this is not today. Today we are mapping it to our engineering education. But what happened? How is the Rig Veda and the Vedas transferred? Through oral tradition. Nobody, there was not written. The Vedas were not written. The Shrutis were not written. The Mandalas were not written. It was being passed on, like Yajur Veda, which has the complete details about the worship details. They are recited. Even today, if we want to learn a particular arti, it takes time. If we want to learn Ram Raksha, it takes time. Atharva Shisha, it takes time. But during that days, without any book, it was able to, the disciples were able to learn that sitting under a tree without any book, because book, the paper to tab tha hi nahi. How? By listening. They developed their verbal, because visual to koi tha hi nahi. So it is not that if we don't know, we just have to identify which is our learning style. Now, moving ahead, in a minute, we'll have one short quiz, and you just have to identify, I hope you have got what is, and you have to identify the famous personalities which are there, and just tell them their intelligence, so that you will be also able to know which intelligence they fall into. So you can give the answer from your places. It's an open quiz. So it's called Gartner's multiple intelligence quiz. Identify this person. Yes? And intelligence? Linguistic, right. Vinith answer is right. Rabindranath Tagore and linguistic intelligence. So next image. Medha Patkar, right. Intelligence. See, we know the people. Huh? Yeah, see, social work is coming through interaction. So as I said, there are 9 linguistic, yeah. And one more thing, I would like to add, see, there's not always one intelligence which is high. There are combinations. Okay, so multiple, musical intelligence will be there. But if musical intelligence hai, to you have to go and talk to people and deliver in front of this audience, right? So interpersonal also will come. So Medha Patkar, yeah, her work is into social contribution, but her naturalistic intelligence is there because of the Narmada Andolan. She has a lot of, everybody must be knowing the Narmada Andolan and her works for the contribution of Narmada. Yeah, I already said some time back. Yes, please be loud so you can tell it loudly. Yes? Yeah, and the intelligence? Yeah? Intelligence? Multiple. It's not a single. Yeah, agreed. But what is high? High on which intelligence? Logical. And the obviously correct. Aryabhatta, sorry. I just kept quiet. So Arya Ambekar was already, everyone knew, has his musical intelligence, and this is obviously the contribution to mathematics, logical intelligence. Now the next. And the next one. So one is hard and easy. I have kept it in that way. Yes? Elon Musk, right. So this is a living example right now. And why am I telling this? Because this person is has occupied, is a polymath in today's generation. He has done 3 different engineerings. And why am I talking today? Because Elon Musk, being one of the richest and contributing so much to the society, is not sending his children to school. Because he is completely training his children in a different way and only focusing on bringing out creativity. His children doesn't go to school and they follow these practices of the East and the West. Okay, so Elon Musk, right? Logical, spatial, and a number of intelligence coupled together. And this, I think this is the last one. The one who answers this will get again a prize. No, person first. Others all were very easy. Anyone? Yes, please answer loudly. No. You can go for multiple options also. Yes? Huh? No. See, this person's theory has worked in this COVID times. Now, at least you can tell. Means what he used to say. And we are all survivors of the fittest. Okay. So, moving ahead now. This is the last one. I guess this will be. Yes? Yeah, but person? Yeah. So, I hope everyone has got a gist about it. Yes. See, that is the thing. You remember because a movie was based on her visual intelligence. A movie was based on her. Okay. So why did we discuss this intelligence, right? Why did we discuss this intelligence? Because if I ask now an equation or a derivation or a formula of kinetic energy, potential energy, something, it would have been difficult. कि किस चीज का formula है. Okay, but if I show you colors, if I show you images, you will be able to recognize it because that is how the brain works. In front here, there are actually, I have put up brain. So what is this brain? This brain is divided into two parts, the left and the right. And in order to grow, okay, in order to grow and what we have been learning since morning, like study and creativity, these are the functionalities of two different parts of the brain. Okay, you have seen that some students are very good in theoretically, but if you ask them to do something creative, make a poster, make a presentation, they hardly do. Why? Because they have developed this left part of the brain. And the right part of the brain, if you see, is responsible for creativity. And left part of the brain is actually related to study, that is memorization, reasoning, writing, reading, speech. And as an educator, we need to see that and give the assignments or a discussion in such a way that, forget about students, I would rather say if we take this at least to our kids, that would have been the biggest achievement of our life. Like, is my child learning? Is he being creative? What is he doing to be creative? Drawing something is not creative. The way he is coming up or the way he is using a color combination, the way he is thinking without seeing from the mobile by his own. Today, if you tell a child to draw something, there are n number of things available on the internet. They take it, same shade combination you will be able to see. Means in lockdown period, you have n number of artists, you have n number of cooks, and n number of what you can say artists and YouTubers developed, and that was nothing but creativity of some form, because totally they were out of contact of reading, writing, anything. So when we talk about this brain power, we must always see that if I am doing, what part of the brain I'm using, and how will you come to know that? Means if you're doing something new, like as I said, creativity is when something new is being done. New, which is new to you or which is new to everyone. That is the most important thing. If it is only new to you, means okay, you at least it's new to you. But real creativity is when something is very new to everyone. So in our education system, we focus on both of the things, that is creativity through different activities. But again, at the end of the day, numbers, pass hona, getting good ranks is the most important thing. So we'll come to that part now. Our brain, as I said, this was the brain, the left part and the right part. Okay, and out of this, what our brain enjoys or what your brain enjoys, there are people who have worked upon it. Okay, so the most important thing that our brain enjoys rather than movement, and you can see in the black and white, it's the color. If something is very colorful, the brain catches it very fast and then it decides. Again, now what about the colorblind people? They have developed a different learning style. So again, that is why I say, even we have a number of people who are colorblind or having some problem, but they have been a success story. because they have used a different intelligence among them and a different learning style. So you have to identify what your brain enjoys, okay? And why? Now I come to the important topic, that is concentration. Because our brain, as I said, now the left and the right part of the brain, if you see, right now I'm sitting over here, but maybe I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat at 6 o'clock while I go. This is most of the time that happens with me. Like when I'm about to go, I have always have this thought in my mind, what I'm going to have, because it is a fixed pattern. Okay, so maybe the time we are listening and we are talking to students, but they are thinking about that. But why is this happening? Because see, if you're sitting under a tree and these thought comes to your mind, it's fine, it's well and good. But if you're sitting in a lecture and something which you are paying for, then this is very harmless, because you are paying for that and you should get the fullest benefit of it. Means why, if you're watching a movie and at times you're watching a movie, then you think about doing assignments and then you think about I have not completed this, means even you're watching the movie, you're not giving full justice to the movie. So that is not the problem of an individual, that is the problem of his brain. Because see, if his brain is not able to think well when he's sitting in the class, the same will be applied when he's watching a movie. Your brain doesn't think in compartments. Okay, so whether if you're sitting in a movie, maybe he'll think about assignments. If he's sitting in assignments, he'll think about movie and whatnot. And the basic again, why is it happening so? Because his concentration is not there. Then what is this dhyan and what is this concentration will come. Can somebody tell me what is this concentration? Then that is the reason you have to do with concentration. So what is the meaning of concentration? Can anyone? Yes? Yes, focusing on something. And what else? Yeah, your answer is right, sir. Absolutely right. Focusing. But yes, we do focus. But how that focus has to be? See, sometimes, sitting on the first bench, we see the students like pre-COVID, they're sitting and they are looking at us, but they're in Rome. Rome is London, Paris. They're actually going roaming. But they are focusing, we can see them looking directly into our eyes, and we might as a teacher feel, now we'll ask some question. But he doesn't even know what I am, because it's all falling on his dumb ears, because his concentration is not there. Then what is this concentration? Focus to hai, baitha to hai, dikh to raha hai, dekh bhi raha hai, aankhein bhi band nahi. Then what is this focus? Can anyone more add on to it? Focusing on? Okay, focusing and thinking what he is focusing. Yes, correct. But still, yes, sir. Focusing on present thing. See, that is what I'm telling. If you focus means look, is it looking at one point? Yes, that is why we want concentration. Mind divert hota hai, then that is because there is no concentration. So what is concentration? Yes, if you see this diagram over here, this person is not able to concentrate, and there are n number of reasons. If you can see, you have a to-do list and then you have something you think about, means abhi to karna hai, par usko wo soch raha hai ki mujhe kal kya karna hai, phone aa raha hai, ye karna hai, to concentration kya hai? Yes, madam, you have to add something. Very perfect. A big clap for madam. Repeat kara madam answer. She said that पूर्ण मन लावून जे केलं जातं त्याला कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन. आणि मग तेच ना, परत मन लावून अभ्यास करा, ध्यान लावून अभ्यास करा. तर I just tell you now what she means to say. When we use all our senses, okay, again senses means visual, eye, learning and mind. When we use all our senses and mind on the study, we can say that we are studying with full concentration. What happens that when we are studying, but our senses are not in sync with it. Like focus is there, you see the student sitting, but his mind. Okay, now the most important question, I have used the word now mind and sometime I said brain. But is there a difference? There is a big difference. Mind is different and brain is different. Okay, then we'll talk difference, sir. Because mind, there is a difference. And if I be there, actually there, that explaining the difference itself will take a big one entire session. But just to tell you, we cannot see the mind, we can see the brain. A first level difference. And the mind is divided further into two categories. One is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And we have we have almost heard to this status, most of the, you think what you become. It's by Buddha, you be what you think, right? So what is that? Because what happens in reality, it happens twice, once in your subconscious mind and one is in your conscious mind. And that is the different theory of mind. Okay, so we'll come back to our concentration because that is most important. Because see, like I'm talking now, my concentration went on to mind. So you have to train your mind immediately to bring back to the point where you stopped on and not to digress from any topic. So that is over a period of time, because our mind can hold an attention for maximum 20 minutes on any particular thing. Okay, so the most important thing when we want to tell the students like study with concentration means that using all your senses, okay, all your senses, mind on study, then you are studying with full concentration. Okay, now how to study with full concentration? There are some exercises, we'll go about it. Moving ahead now, the first technique. Now why I said that? Because see, I am not teaching you how to learn. Because in order to teach how to learn, it's a different thing, like developing your right brain. Currently, I'm focusing on your left brain activity, because as an engineering educator, we need to see that our students do well. And the most example of this is aptitude. We see that our students study aptitude, but they don't perform well in aptitude. Now, I have tried this on the students learning aptitude. Because they go and pick up RS Agarwal, they start from profit ratio, they start from first is LCM, HCM, then GCF, then average, then you have mixtures, then you have ratio proportion, then you have speed, time, distance. Okay, so this, why am I able to tell this? Because I have tried this memory technique and this is the way memory learns. Okay, so first important thing is, first I'll discuss dhyan se padhna means what. And obviously, when you go home, you can try this on your kids. And if they are less than 5 years, then or grandchildren or anyone in your area, you can see whether it really works. Okay, so first thing is dhyan se padhna means what. And this not only applies to anyone. If today we are doing something, we are doing multiple tasks. Like I may be the king. We are listening to this universal human education workshop, and at the same time we are doing our assignments. So anything, but anything you are doing, dhyan has to be there, then only you will. So what is that? Okay, so first we'll see, that's a strategy. Now again, as I said, people have worked on this. Okay, there are people, this particular philosophy is Indian philosophy. The people from India have put forth this, it's in our Vedas. Okay, so first important thing is, when you start studying, okay, or when you start as a learner, I'll just now categorize as a student or something, I'll just make it a learner. When you are a learner, you first have to make a commitment and tell the mind, I'm reading, I am about to begin something and I have to finish this. Because see, even we are in the continuous upgradation process and everything is new to us. It's the need of the day. So we have to do this. So what is the first important thing? And for most of y'all, it may be that, what is this? Does it work? It works. Okay, people from reputed backgrounds. I don't say reputed means, I don't say with degrees now, because again I said it's how good you are at retrieving from your left part of the brain. It's about this. And at the end of the day, it's practice that makes something perfect. Okay, so the first thing is that if you are starting with aptitude, you have to make a commitment. You have to tell the mind, I am learning aptitude. And obviously allied again with this, this is only one part I'm telling. You need to have a study timetable. You need to have what topics you are going to do. Now I'm assuming that I have decided that I will do a particular topic. That is, I'm going to study ancient or I can say medieval history. And considering medieval history, I start with a particular book, maybe Bipin Chandra. Now, What do I tell my mind? Read, see, I'm reading this, and right now I'm reading the Revolt of 1857. Okay, and in 20 minutes I have to finish Revolt of 1857 and the causes of it. Now, we all read, right? We all read, but what we miss out is, and this is the most important thing, when we read, we go on to the next chapter immediately. That is the thing. So what you have to do, out of, if you have decided that I'll be doing 5 topics, if at all we have to read it, then we have to tell which topics are we going to talk. If I'm going to read Revolt of 1857, then I'm going to do about the freedom fighters. So, okay, fine. But first, after you finish those 5 pages, which covered Revolt of 1857, you have to revise it. So how to revise, that is the most important thing. Keep the book open. Obviously, when we are going to do these things, are we going to take the book to the exam? No. So where are we going to retrieve it from? We are going to retrieve it from our memory. So we have to make the practice of revising it from the memory itself. And how are we going to do it? So you are going to make the notes in the memory itself by immediately, once you finish reading it, close your eyes. Now, why close your eyes? Because see, we use this particular computer laptop, right? And it also has a primary memory, cache memory, secondary memory. And then we put some external memory, that is the pen drive. So the moment you insert pen drive, there is some scanning going on, right? Your brain should understand that you have shut off everything and now you're inserting something new. And the first thing to cut off everything and make your brain and mind work together is by closing the eyes. You cannot concentrate or rather recall you can do it, but at a later stage. Okay. So the first important thing, once you finish reading the particular chapter, close your eyes and recall. And how to recall? Sequentially. Try to recall. See what was the first topic? When did the revolt start? What were the causes for it? Who was the first person? Who were the people involved in it? And try to remember. Are you able to remember? And if at all you are stuck at a particular point, means that point, at that particular point, your mind was not concentrated. It had gone. Open the book again, read that, and then close your mind and continue. Do not move to the next topic unless you finish with the first revision in mind in the same way. That is the first important thing. And why is it so? I'll be telling you, because I have to tell about memory also. So try to recall this first sequence immediately, and this you have to do for the rest of the topics that you have decided. Suppose you have decided I'm going to study 1 hour. 1 hour you thought you will finish 5 chapters. It is okay if you don't finish 5 chapters, but 4 chapters if you have finished. Then most important is the revision. Revision in this way. Now, after you have read, so while closing the eyes, one important thing that is from the yogas, okay, that has been told is you have to focus here when you close your eyes. Okay, there is again a theory. I won't go into the details of it, but when you close your eyes and you try to recall, all your senses, all your attention should be focused on this point, and then you open it. Then again you continue with the second chapter. Before going to the third chapter, do not make it a rule to yourself. I will not go to the third chapter unless I revise it in my mind what I learned in the first chapter by closing the mind, because ultimately I have to retrieve from the mind only when I have to reproduce. So this is the process of studying with concentration. Then what if you are unable to recall again? After closing the mind book and your eyes, you're not able to come up to that point, which was that equation, which was that particular thing. Again, open that book, see, because that particular point of when you were reading, your mind was not with you. It was wavering. Okay. Now, so the first important thing after you read in this way, revise in this way, the next important thing is the same thing you have to do it within the next 24 hours. Now, why is this so? Because I'll tell you, now I'll explain the concept of memory very fast because I think time is less. So memory basically is the ability to store and retrieve information and how is this memory works. Okay, so very fast I'll tell you, this memory is basically is classified or into three types: sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Today, if I ask you what is 4 fours are, you will be able to tell 4 fours are 16. Why? Because when you are able to tell it 16, this 4 into 4 has been converted in your memory from short term to long term. If I ask you your childhood teacher and best friend names, you'll be able to tell me. But if I ask you a student's name online of that roll number, you will not be able to tell. Because in order to learn and unlearn, we have to complete this process of converting whatever we have read from sensory, because we are listening right now, and what are we listening through? We are obviously listening through the senses, that is the sensory, you are listening through ears, watching through eyes, okay, and maybe you're writing also if at all you are liking it. So it is the sensory memory that is first capturing it, and from the sensory memory, if you're attentive, again attentive, if you're concentrated, means when you're listening to me, if your all senses are focused on, then whatever you have learned or listened will go on to short-term memory. Now, the short-term memory is nothing but a scratch pad. Now, what do I say scratch pad? Tab ke tab. If I want to write something, immediately I write on a piece of paper, right? It's there, but immediately it can get deleted. It doesn't get converted. Like if I ask you a mobile number, you will be able to tell me immediately by looking it. But if I ask you the same mobile number tomorrow, you will not be able to tell it. Why? Because it was stored in your short-term memory. But if I ask you your landline number, you will be able to tell me immediately. If I ask you your cell phone number or your sister's cell phone number, you will be able to tell it. Why? Because that number from sensory to short term has been converted into long term memory, and it's stored permanently from where it cannot be erased. And in this process, what is the most important thing is that we have to tell our students or as a learner how to convert from short-term memory to long-term memory. I gave you this example. Your mobile number you are able to learn. So why not you are able to, if I tell you my number, why are you not able to recall it tomorrow? The answer is in this structure of memory. It's not our fault. Because memory work वैसे ही करती है. Senses से लेती है, उसके बाद short term में convert होता है और फिर long term में. And why we tend to forget? Because of the decay effect. Okay, so the most important thing now, how are we going to convert this without talking much about long-term memory and the details about it? I'll just tell that three main activities in order to make anything learn permanent. Like if I want to know the syntax of C or a particular programming structure, I'll be able to do it because वो short term से long term में convert हो गया, वो permanent disk पे है, it will not be erased. If I ask twinkle twinkle little star, I'll be able to tell it because it is stored permanently. But if I ask you something about artificial intelligence, or if I ask you something about what you learned in the morning, or tell me the number of theories that you have listened since morning, hardly anyone will be able to tell all of them. Okay, because again, if you go today and if you practice this, maybe tomorrow you will be able to tell, because from sensory it will go to short term and from short term to long term. So three main things involved: storage, forgetting, and information retrieval. So the most important part now, how to convert what we have learned from sensory memory to long term memory. Now this is a technique. Okay, I'll directly tell you that. So first thing, ध्यान से पढ़ना. ध्यान से पढ़ना means open it with this particular thing and revise it instantly. Now, this is the process of converting short-term memory to long-term memory. So first revision you have to do immediate. That is when you read the book, close your eyes, recall sequentially, okay, revise in mind without book. Second, revision. Like if I do one topic, if I studied Revolt of 1857, within the next 24 hours, if I'm going to now the Act of 1857 and the changes that were brought about by the Act of 1857, okay, then I have to first understand what were the things in the Revolt of 1857. Okay, without, so the second revision should be within 24 hours. After that, you can continue reading the second part. Then on the 7th day, you have to revise what you have learned on the first day. If at all, you can try writing also. And the most important thing, after the third revision, on the 30th day, you have to recall what you read on the first day. And only then, what you read on the first day will then be stored onto your memory permanently. And if you see now, we were having in the school, the oral, we used to say twinkle twinkle little star, poems and all. And what was that? That was a repetition. Like first day ke baad agle hafte, that particular thing the teacher first used to make us tell. And this is not only by today we see it in teachers and all, but the Nalandana University, the Takshashila University, where these Ashoka emperors and all these scholars have learned, there was no pen and pencil at that time. They have learned through this oral tradition, and what they followed is this particular timetable. And they have made the modules or their structure of study in such a way that what is being taught on the first day will repeat on the immediate repeating will happen. Second will happen on the next within 24 hours. Third on the 7th day, and the next on the 30th day. And then they go on, and that is why the recitings and the ritual practices from Yajurveda, people can sing or tell very easily, which even uttering is a problem for us. Okay, so this is the strategy of revising, how to revise. Now, after this is done, the second technique, now this is again a philosophical part. As I said, I am talking about the learnings from Indian literature. The Saraswat Mantra Jap has immense power. Okay, that is dedicated to Saraswati, and there is a technique which you have to do. Very fast, I'll tell you. The mantra is very simple. The mantra is Om, Aim, Om. And you can tell this to your small children or anyone in your area. And it's a very powerful mantra. I myself practice it, and we practice it regularly. And how you have to do it is just these two fingers. Okay, anywhere you can do it. Just sit at a particular place. You are not expected to sit in a particular asana. What is the effect of this is that if you practice it daily, you will, on the 30th day, you will feel some sensations, comfort, vibrations over here. And that will help you. Means the memory technique, the Saraswati mantra, okay, which is very simple. I'm not telling about you say the entire thing. It's only Om, Aim, Om. And why is this 3 words? Because there is a connectivity, neural connectivity when we, the magic and the power of Om is known to everyone. I did not speak about it. And the vibrations and the positivity it brings into one's life. So this is what you have to say. And you make a timetable where you'll be just saying it for 108 times, and very quickly it gives effect. And the third important technique is Tratak, again from our ancient literature. So what is this Tratak? You must have seen our vision or anything has an arrow in the between. So this is this Tratak. And why is it so? Because if you see, there are some learned people, like if you see in politics, Mr. Sharad Pawar, he's very well popularly known for knowing the names of his associates at this age also, 80 plus. Now, what is this? He has a very good memory. The memory, he has a recalling capacity. And obviously, why am I saying this? Because there are some people who can just even look at something and they're able to capture it. That is called scanning. And how does the scanning happen? Means people say a pictographic memory. If I ask something like how a scene from DDLJ movie, or if I ask something, you'll be able to tell the dress, color, what was worn, what was there on the table, everything. Now, why is it so? Again, our brain likes colors. It captures it in the form of image, and that's a picture that is being captured. And how it happens, okay, this is done intentionally, means I practice it. Now I do it for 2 reasons. I do it for reducing the number of specs and also for increasing. So how it is to be done, it is being showed over here that you have to use a particular light. But if you see on this particular wall also, or whether you sit at your eye length, you can draw a point over here. Like the students preparing for UPSC, MPSC, CAT, and these competitive examinations, you must know, Hamara dheya ye hai. They mark a particular point over here. So what is that? That is actually a Kendra Bindu of Tratak. Okay, what do? They sit over here, and even if you come, if in my cabin on the front side, I have one position marked, because whenever I am free, I just focus on it. So what is the advantage of it is you have to focus. Now, how to do this Stratak, I'll just tell you. It can be, you can do it with the help of a small diya, or you can do it on a piece of wall. Like anything you can focus. You can focus on a particular object. Circular is better. Again, circle has a science. Will not go into the details of the circular science because of the earth that we are into. So what you have to do is focus on it without closing eyes. You have to focus till that point of time, till your water comes out from your eyes. And when the point, जब पानी निकलता है आँख से, you close your eyes. Once you close your eyes, that object which you were seeing, which you were focusing, you should be able to see with your closed eyes. And it happens. And it is not, it is because, again, scientific reason, it is because of the persistence effect. You know the persistence effect, if you just move something with a laser beam, you see a circle, because it's of the persistence effect. And the same we are trying to, means if you see something for a particular period of time, and if I'm having something written over here, I close my eyes, I should be able to see the image that is capturing with the memory. And you have to do this, means in case you have to do this, means the ones who are interested in enhancing the memory or passing it on, they can share it. So it's very beneficial. So you have to focus till that time. By closing again here, you are able to see that point of focus. If it is a candle, it was a light. Some people purposefully do it by closing the light. Okay, you can do it with in sitting anywhere. Just focus on something. But only thing is, whatever you are focusing, if you close your eyes, you should be able to see it with your closed eyes. That is the philosophy of Tratak. And obviously, again, this effects will be visible after 1 month. So, वह चीज आपको बंद आँखों से भी आप देख पाएंगे. That is what has been the philosophy of it. So, I hope, again, there are a number of memory techniques which are from the West. Okay, a combination. But my most important intention was to tell how to ध्यान से पढ़ते कैसे हैं, और जो पढ़ते हैं वो याददाश्त हमको परमानेंटली स्टोर कैसे करते हैं. So this is the technique. Again, this is allied with study patterns, making appropriate timetable, which will be helpful. So if you have any questions, I'll conclude my session. And if you have any questions, we can take it offline, because I think the time is up. Next session is there of Lobo sir. So thank you all for your patient listening. Thank you one and all. The results will be declared. Thank you.